Hello, it's Monday, July 17th, 2017, and as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. Hey, welcome back everybody. I hope everyone is doing well, and I do want to take another moment here to thank you all for taking time out of your busy days to spend a half hour or so with me, listening to the not always sensical thoughts that come out of my face when I speak. So I'm trying to get Nora back on the show. This weekend kind of conspired against us with things that we are trying to get done around the house, kids, work, exercising, things like that. So maybe next show you'll get to hear her lovely voice joining me on the podcast. A few different things I do want to talk about today, so I won't spend much time leading into it. Let me tell everybody how you can get a hold of me. On Twitter, at jamoalki, email jamoalki@gmail.com, facebook.com/jamoalki. What else? www.jamoalki.info. And there's still that text line, 248-648-1419. And that's Jamoalki, Jamoalki. So that takes care of all that. Let's just get right into the show, huh? So let's see, news of what's going on. So let's start. I had my appointment with Alex last week, this past Wednesday, and we talked about all kinds of different things. One is a topic I'll get into here in just a minute. One of the things we talked about was a communication that I have received from a listener, and actually similar stories from other listeners, and just how that affects me, hearing stories from other people. You know, I ask you guys to send me emails, notes, whatever, and I love it when you do, and I appreciate it, and I'm really touched and honored at some of the communications that I get and the level of intimacy and personal information that you share with me, which I am honored, and I do my best to do right by that. You reach out to me with information, and I'm not always sure what to do with that information, but I do keep it close to the vest. I will mention to Nora, hey, I got an email from a listener, I got an email from someone from the blog, and that's about it. I don't divulge any real information with her, or even with Alex. When we were talking, I mentioned to him how I'm not trained or schooled in the whole confidentiality, patient doctor, patient therapist, lawyer, client, whatever. But I do my best to abide by what I believe those rules are. And basically what that comes down to me is I just don't talk about it with anybody other than vagaries. So, talking with Alex, and I have a listener who has emailed me, and early on, this person was was in a situation similar to where I was 3 years ago. I guess 2.5, just over 2.5 years ago now, when I was really close to my suicide attempt. And some of the same thought processes, same word strings, feelings that I was getting from this person. And, I mentioned how I just had gotten some communication like this, and he asked me how that made me feel. And I told him, and this is honest, and I hope this doesn't keep folks from emailing me, but intellectually, I knew what was going on. I knew what responses I needed to make. And obviously with this person, I asked them to call Ape Talk, to text 741-741 if they preferred texting, find someone to speak with, just keep messaging me if you need to. And so I did those things, obviously. And, but emotionally, I even though it was a very similar situation to where I was or where I have been, I didn't feel anything emotionally for that situation. And this is still something that's really troubling for me, my kind of detachment from everything. And, you know, it's hopefully it's obvious on the show that my girls in Michigan are everything in my life that isn't Nora. But I feel detachment there as well. And this is something I really want to work on. I'm hoping, you know, I mentioned that my new medication seems to be doing well for me. And right now I'm hoping that it continues to do so. And I get to a point where I have the courage and strength and ability to work on that and try to explore that more. Still, at this point, you know, if Alex, if he wanted to spend a session talking about feelings, I don't know that I would add anything to that because I don't have them, at least as far as when it comes to empathy. So anyway, you know, we talked about that. We talked about how really poor my sleep has been, and I think I've mentioned it here. I'm still working on like 4.5, 5 hours, maybe 6 hours a night. But essentially that has me up anywhere from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I've been getting in a lot of steps, going to a lot of different bagel shops, putting up my flyer in different places. So that part's good, but it's a little bit out of control. I made an appointment with my psychiatrist. We went and we talked. I mentioned to him what was going on and how, you know, it kind of wears me out a little bit during the day, but it doesn't seem to be unmanageable until that sleep debt gets up a little bit higher, and I'd have taken a nap of, you know, an hour and a half. Today I took a nap of all of 15 minutes. So, you know, I do feel it accumulating, but it doesn't, you know, once I'm up for a half hour and moving around, then I'm pretty well set for a good while of the day. But then again, every evening by 8 o'clock, I just feel like if I shut my eyes for a minute, I would drift right off to sleep. We talked about it, and we have decided to take the route of increasing the trazodone that I will take at bedtime. He's given me clearance to go up to 200 milligrams of trazodone, which is twice what the maximum it was originally written for me. It was written for 25 to 100. And now it's up to 200, but I'm trying it in 25 milligram increases to see how it works. I started this last night at 125, and I was up at 20 minutes to 4 this morning. So maybe not the best first night. So we'll try 150 tonight and see. The reason, one of the things I'm concerned about is, you know, I don't know if I'm better off being, you know, genuinely tired or waking up in the morning and needing to be up at a certain time and being groggy, you know, medicated grogginess for a couple hours after waking up. So that's why I'm trying to step it up in real small amounts to see. For those of you interested, what we're doing is all medication has a half-life in your body, right? So you take, you know, 100 milligrams at noon. The medication has a half-life in your body of, say, 4 hours. So after 4 hours, you've got 50 milligrams of the medicine still working in your body. And what we're trying to deduce is if we can raise up that half-life amount to what is a workable dosage for me. So I was taking 100 at night. And, you know, after, I think it's 6 hours is the half-life. So after, you know, pushing 5 hours, 6 hours, then we're down to 50. And what we're thinking is that that's just not enough of a functioning amount of the medicine to keep me restfully sleeping. So we're increasing the initial dose, hoping that at that half-life time that I'm still at a dosage active in my body that helps me sleep. So, you know, I take 150 tonight. At that 6 hours, I'll be at 75. So, you know, if the sweet spot is about 70, then that should work out great. That's the hope. That's what we're trying to figure out. It's kind of interesting. I never really thought of, you know, I knew medicine had a half-life. I never really thought about how that affects how the medicine works in your body. So pretty interesting. The other thing I want to talk about but I did bring up with Alex is work. I do have a job. I will be starting in just over a week's time, 7 days from the time this goes out. As again, it's Sunday now. I'll release this on Monday. We talked about that and a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about when I get to that in a minute. So the most interesting part of the whole session was at the end. We actually ended up talking a couple minutes long, and we got up. He shook my hand. He said, "Really good stuff today. This was a good session." And true to my everything I do is stupid and worthless and sucky mindset that I can't. I'm unable to, as of yet, defeat that. I walked away thinking, what the hell is he talking about? What was good? What I don't understand. And so I guess that's topic number one when I go back next week or this Wednesday to talk to him is, hey, you saw it as good stuff. Can you help explain to me what it was that was good about it? Because I walked away feeling like I hadn't accomplished anything. So that'll be fun to find out next week. Yeah, we'll see. So let's talk about this job, right? I've mentioned for a while now that I was looking for a job, not looking for a job, looking for a job, not looking for a job, looking for a job because medical expenses are out of control, looking for a job because I felt I was ready, not looking for a job because I felt I wasn't ready. So this job is going to be working with a company that is hired as a third party to go in and basically surveil and service Procter & Gamble merchandise in various stores, grocery stores, Target stores, Kmart stores, Walmart stores, those kind of things. And being in retail my whole life, which is my comfort spot, right? If it's in retail, I feel I know it and I'm not concerned about it. So being in retail, again, just that I'm not really concerned about the job itself. One of the things I have been worried about with going to get a job is whether or not I was ready to have that kind of rigid work schedule kind of thing. Because, as you remember, for last time when I was working, the very last time I was working alongside Nora. And so there was a lot of support there and just comfort. But the time before that, when I was back working at Home Depot, I was working for a couple of weeks, and that was the time when, and admittedly, I was too early to be back to work. But, I found myself really, one, I've mentioned it, I was troubleshooting my suicide attempt, and I was working out how to do it the same way with the same medication overdose, but in a way that I wouldn't be able to get out of the car and walk up to a store like I did and essentially get help whether I wanted it or not. So I was working on that plan. I found myself, working at Home Depot. I would find myself in the rope aisle, checking out the working weight strength of different ropes and metal wire, and what I would have to do to create the force I would need to essentially hang myself. And the only thing that was different at that time was work. 2 weeks earlier, I was still kind of numb from the suicide attempts, but feeling safe and secure with Nora, to basically just 2 weeks of doing boring, mundane stuff, but being forced to do boring and mundane stuff, I guess. And I found myself in that position. So that's still pretty heavy on my mind. I don't know. I guess that's the biggest thing that worries me is that this is a disruption of sorts in the life that I have right now, be it as it is. It's going to be as part of my days that aren't in my control. And I think I value that control a little bit, even though I often find myself not being able to do something or figure out what to do next. It's me doing that, right? along with the added responsibilities that come with having a job, as far as, being there, being dressed right, being clean, being shaved, having to talk to people who normally I wouldn't want to talk to because that's what the job entails, and just, the choices within your workday that you do for work. It's something I haven't done in a while, and it's a little daunting, even given the relative comfort of the work environment of being in a retail store. But the one thing that this job does offer is, so it's a part-time job, 20 hours to 25 hours a week, that I essentially choose. So like the Thursday before, I would get a list of the stores that need to be serviced. Well, let me step back. So there are three types of stores. There's stores that need to be serviced once in every 4-week time period, stores that need to be serviced twice in that 4-week time period, and stores that need to be serviced every week. So, the Thursday before, I would see a list of the stores that I need to get to, and then I can just make my schedule and say, okay, hey, I'm going to go to that store, that store, that store. Monday, Tuesday, I'm not going to work. Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to go to this store. And Thursday, Friday, I'm going to go to the balance of the stores, or whatever it might be. And I hope I'm not being too naive with the flexibility that this gives, but I like that it's, I value my ability to be able to help out Nora with kids or with whatever at the drop of a hat, and I feel badly if I can't do that. So I'm hoping this flexibility still enables me to do that. The woman that I talked to, who would be my supervisor, actually said while we were talking, hey, if something comes up, then hey, you go do that store tomorrow and take off and whatever. So it sounds to me like as long as I get hands-on stores within the week, 2 week, or 4 weeks that they require, then everybody's happy. And, so yay, let's all be happy, huh? So Monday next week, the 24th, I am due to start, and, I have to contact them tomorrow to make sure I understand where we're supposed to meet. There's not a home base of sorts in the area, so I'm not even sure where I'm supposed to go. But there'll be paperwork to fill out, I-9 and W-4s, and getting we all get a neat little tablet that gives us the information for the day-to-day job and all that. So yeah, hey, I've got a job, and I think I was lucky to get this job, or to find this job. And hopefully it all goes the way I think it will, or at least close to how I think it will. The other thing that flexibility gives me is my ability to able to go out and see my girls in Michigan, or go pick them up to bring them here or whatnot. So lots of good things, lots of worrisome things from remembering of days past. Yeah, so that's that. I really thought I had more to talk about with this. But apparently I don't. So this is going to be a short one, folks. I do want to give a shout out to anybody who is listening, who has contacted me or not contacted me, but Laura and Lori and Kate, if you're listening, that's great. I appreciate everybody taking time out to listen to the show. Spread the word. Give me a good rating on iTunes. I know I've been saying give me a good rating on Google Play Music. I admittedly never looked at it, and it seems to be more difficult than I thought. But please give me a high rating if you think I deserve it, and that will help this show pop up on searches a little more frequently, and we can get the word out to more folks, and hopefully help some folks out. Give them, show them that they're not alone, that they're more people like them than they think. And we share a lot of the same ideas and fears and hopes and worries. So yeah, if you could do that, folks, that would be great. Other than that, I hope everybody is doing well. And again, thank you so very much for taking time out to listen to the show. Everybody be safe and be well.